demand, cost savings by transitioning to automatic meter readings, funding to expand the water supply of the region's growing population. I also want to take note regard to all these changes. Since I've been here on the board of directors, we have taken several actions in order to improve what has taken place here at West Valley Water District. During that time, we have worked with our general manager, our CFO, and other leaders. We have passed financial reforms. We have passed HR reforms. We have passed fiscal reforms. And we look forward to several, and we have changed the course here. Day to day, when I look at the employees, when I look in their eyes, when I have conversations with them, it is much different from the first day that I came here. We have a lot more work to do. We have a lot to do as an agency to restore public trust. However, I do want to note that there are elements in our midst who, for some reason or another, do not want us to have progress. They want to point out things that happened in the past. They want to point out and characterize certain situations in a way that would make it seem scandalous. They want to ensure that, even if we have competitive processes and people are well qualified for the job, they want to cast aspersions on individuals. We have several individuals in this organization, but not the employees necessarily, that are not content with progress. They are not content with just coming to work, praying on their knees every morning to do a good job and live by ethical and moral standards. It's important that we, all of us in this community, we can't let those people and those voices and those naysayers be able to rule the day. We know what we're doing here at West Valley Water District, and we know how important our mission is for our ratepayers. With that being said, I want to make sure that you all know that we and I will continue to work hard and put the ratepayers first. We will do our jobs. We will commit to service. We will commit with acting with integrity, with transparency, and supplying open jobs. With that being said, let's move on to public participation.
Under the State of California Brown Act, the Board of Directors is prohibited from discussing or taking action on any item not listed on the posted agenda. Comments related to notice, public hearings, and business matters will be heard during the current of the item. Teleconference notice. In an effort to prevent the spread of COVID-19 coronavirus, and in accordance with the Governor's Executive Order N2920 and the Order of the County of San Bernardino dated March 17, 2020, there will be no public location for attending this board meeting in person. Members of the public may listen and provide public comment via telephone by calling the following number and access code. Dial 888-475-4499, access code 807-977-6383. Public comment may also be submitted via email to nfaruqi@wvwd.org. This webinar will also be available for public viewing by visiting www.wvwd.org.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Any public comment? Mr. Faruqi? Okay.
Yes,
hold on. Hold on 1 second.
Board President?
Okay. Hold on 1 second. We are having technical difficulties with YouTube. We're attempting to resolve this issue. Individuals are able to listen live. However, we're having issues with viewing on YouTube. Again, you can go to Facebook. Please continue. I apologize, sir.
Good evening, Board President, Board Directors. My name is Gil Navarro. I'm the Water Board Director with the San Miguel Valley Municipal Water District. I'm speaking here in my own behalf. I just want to give you an update that I'm meeting with Nadia next week, and we're going to work together to see how we can support District support West Valley Agency and water conservation measures. As you know, our basins are basically low, so the less water will be used, more water stays in the basin. So I'm looking forward in working with LADIA and West Valley to help water conservation measures. Thank you very much for listening.
Okay, thank you very much. Any further public comment?
We do not have anyone else, sir.
We don't have, being that there is no further public comment, we now will move to presentations from Clifton Larson Allen, outside treasurer.
Hi, my name's Ted Muller. I'm the group leader for the outsourcing division of the Southern California offices of Clifton Larson Allen. We have, for the past year and a half, been performing reviews of the financial investments on behalf of the West Valley Water District. I believe for the people present on the board, they have a copy of the April 30, 2020 report. On the right side of the report is presented the balances as of March 2020 as compared to April 2020. Starting with the checking and savings account, the Chase General Government Checking Account, which is at $4,077,000. That account is above the insured limit of the FDIC of $250,000. However, that is a standard operating policy for the district as its account maintains the funds for a monthly operating balance for 2 payrolls and 2 associated accounts payable balances. Then the next amount that appears here is the Chase United Technologies Corporation checking account. This currently has a balance of $909,000 in the account. This balance has been at this level since last September. So we strongly recommend, and both to the Finance Committee and the board, that they pass an authorization that can move at least $650,000, whatever it takes to get back under the $250,000 limit, and transfer the money to one of the investment accounts below. A couple of reasons. One is that it will allow you to be back under the FDIC limit of $250,000. Two, the investment vehicles presented below earn a higher interest rate than that account. The next 4 items represent some of the longer-term investments where the funds of the district are part. The Local Agent Investment Fund, the agency fund, has about $16.5 million in that account. U.S. Bank, the Chandler Asset Management account, has $13.1 million. And then between the 2 Cal Trust investment funds, short-term has $15.6 million, and the medium-term has $10.8 million. In performing our review, we noted that all these investments are in accordance with the investment policy as stipulated by the Board of Directors for the West Valley Water District. In addition, they are in accordance with the California Government Code sections 53601 and 53601.6b. Thus, they're in compliance with that. We also verified that the majority of investments that are either at 5 years or less, thus being also inconsistent with the Water District's policy and the California investment policy. The right side of the schedule is an indication of how the $61.3 million of funds that the district has, where these funds are dedicated to or restricted by. So the first account that appears down there is the bond fund. Is relatively small because you made your interest payment for that bond fund in this past month, so that's why you're down to $3. The customer deposit account represents all your deposits from your customers in that account. The capacity charge account is a cost that handles your capacity issues and it ties to a report that is generated by your system. Lastly, there's $3 million. This $3 million is a settlement from about a year ago. It was a process that the water district was a part of a lawsuit that they filed where certain other water districts were taking an unfair share of the water from the Rialto Basin. This $3 million is currently invested in the local agency investment fund, and it has been set aside as a potential investment for construction in progress. The next set of reserves is the capital reserve funds. The capital project account is at roughly $12.5 million, and the capital project account below that is also at $10 million. These two pieces are based on a formula. The capital project account is based on the current capital project account budget for 2019-2020, and then the second piece, which is the projection for 2020 and 2021, is based on 80% of the budget that was put in place for 2019-2020. Next is the general administrative fund. That reserve is based on a calculation based on 5% of your operating budget. Your rate stabilization fund is also based on a formula based on, I believe it's water rates. And then your operating reserve fund is based on taking roughly 60 days or 1/6 of your operating budget as a reserve to deal with any emergencies or shortfalls. The emergency account is to deal with the $1.3 million is based on a percentage of your water sales budget, and is to deal with to help stabilize any sort of water fluctuation, water purchases. And the last is a water banking account for $125,000. The self-insurance reserve is a reserve that the board approved roughly, I want to say a year and a half ago, of $5 million. That has not changed since that time. So when you look at the report, two things you should take into consideration. One is that these reserves and percentages have not changed since we have been reviewing your treasurer's report. So these reserves represent the minimal amounts that are there. So it's up to the board to decide if these percentages are still appropriate or if the reserves need to be raised. So that then leads into the question is that, well, how much can you raise them? And if you look, you have roughly about $6.4 million available in daily cash, but if you use roughly $4.1 million that you maintain in your general government accounting account there, you really only have about a cushion of about $2 million to make any adjustments. It's great that the water district has $61 million. It's just that the board needs to understand that there is no cushion in the numbers that the future planning for future projects.
Okay, any questions? Okay, thank you. All right, moving on. Next presentation, Special District Leadership Foundation, our commitment to excellence.
Good evening, board members. Nasim Faruqi, Public Affairs Manager. Just here to inform you that the application for Special Districts Leadership Foundation was submitted and it's currently being reviewed. So congratulations on this initial part, and hopefully we'll hear back in the coming weeks. We are in contact. We do have a point of contact from our office that is going through the application process with them. And we'll be sure to provide updates to the board of directors on an ongoing basis. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you, Mr. Faruqi. Thank you, all the public affairs staff, for the work that you've done on this over the last several months. We're glad that we finally got our application in. Let's just hope we pass the test. All right, with that being said, we're here with the consent calendar. Do I have a motion?
President?
Yes.
Mr. President, I'd like to make the motion that we move items 1 through 16, deliver a motion to.
All right, is there a second?
Did he say move items or remove? Approve. Oh,
Approve items 1 through 16, is there a second?
I'll second it, but I believe the CFO wanted to remove item number 5. Is that correct?
Yes.
Oh, the CFO did want to move, continue item number 5. Sorry.
Okay, I'll rephrase the motion.
All right,
I would like to make the motion that we move items 1 through 16 and continue item number 5 to another meeting.
okay.
And I'll accept the amendment and second it, and I do want to add a comment on the groundwater council.
Okay. All right, so item 1 through 16, has been moved and properly seconded. Ms. Mason, call for the vote.
Director Dr. Michael Taylor,
Yes.
Director Greg Young,
Yes.
Director Dr. Clifford Young,
Yes.
Director Kyle Fowler,
Yes.
President Channing Hopkins.
Yes. Okay. With that being said, under the business matters,
Mr. President, if I could make just a
Okay.
quick statement on the groundwater council.
yes.
I did want to just thank particularly our partners at San Bernardino Valley Water District, June Hayes and Hilfred and Heather for their tremendous efforts in helping us take care of a few issues we had with the Groundwater Council, and I'm very pleased that we just now voted to join the Water Council, and I know they will be as well, and I do also want to thank our partners over at the Conservation District as well, address some of our concerns, and we look forward to being a part of the overall group. And I just want a big shout out of thanks to all of them for a lot of back and forth and trying to help us come to a resolution with our concerns. And I do also want to thank our staff, our general manager, and all our staff members who also worked on this item, and then Vice President Kyle Crowther, who was on the ad hoc committee with me, meeting with all these folks. So just big shout out of thanks to everybody, and we're very excited to be a part of the Groundwater Council. Thank you.
Yes, I also want to echo Greg's sentiment over to the folks at San Bernardino Valley. They done an excellent job and been excellent partners. I particularly want to thank Dr. June and Heather for their work, their stalwart work in putting this all together, and thank you. Okay, somebody's not on mute. Somebody thinks they're on mute, but they're not on mute. Is everyone on the line on mute?
Sounds like.
Okay, now okay, mute, please, mute,
Not coming from me.
mute, please, mute. Okay, thank you. If it's not one thing, it's the other. So moving on, thank you to June, thank you to Heather. We're glad you guys are really good partners with us. All right, with that being said, we have business matter, the consideration of approval of request for a proposal, RFP, for a computerized maintenance management system and development of an asset management program. AMP.
Mr. President, I would like to table this item until we complete our budget discussions.
Okay, all right. That's a motion on the floor. Is there
I need a
a
second.
second?
I'll second it, but I do have questions.
Okay, there's a second. With questions, discussion?
Well, my question is there a cost associated with running this RFP at this point?
Yes, there is. One of the reasons for getting the RFP out is to determine what costs we would save from the various vendors.
But I
Wait,
was
does the
curious how
RFP
much of the cost for just running the RFP at this
Oh,
point?
no, we pay a subscription to Planet Eds,
Okay.
so no cost.
Okay, thank you.
Would you go run the RFP?
Mr. President, Mr. President, I couldn't hear the response, but, is there any reason why there would be a problem moving this forward to another agenda, or is it time sensitive, or it's something that we should vote on now?
Well, I guess that's a question for staff.
We wanted to get it out.
And,
Well, we're
I'm
not,
sorry, I can't hear you, Clarence.
we're not voting to approve, a particular proposal. We're just voting to, the request is for us to put it out so we can start receiving proposals.
Can I ask a quick question before we vote on it?
Oh, well, yes, we haven't, we're just in the discussion of, current motion, but yes, short answer is yes. Yes, Mr. Crowley.
If I'm understanding this correctly, this is for the RFQ, correct?
RFP.
No, this is an RFP, because I guess, you can't,
That's-
you have to do an RFP for this, because it's a,
We want cost proposals.
they want cost proposals
Right.
But
for this, because it's hardware and stuff.
eventually there will be some cost to it.
Eventually, to implement the program, there will be costs.
Okay, in our budget, this is part of our budget discussions.
Correct.
Okay, I was want to have the budget discussion before we even approve to go out for RFQ.
Okay.
That's what does that extension hurt this program?
No, because the board has the right to amend the budget at any time they want. So if we do this RFP next fiscal year, at the time that we learn the cost, we can do a budget amendment if the board so chooses.
Okay,
So I'm suggesting that we just table it until we have the budget discussion on it. Because there's some, discussion to come on this particular project.
okay, is there, okay, yes,
So you're talking a couple of weeks, right?
Oh, yeah, we're just talking, we should be finished with budget discussions by at least by the middle of June. Is this time sensitive?
As staff would like to say yes, but in truth, we can wait.
Was it tabling this to the middle of June hurt?
No. we won't.
Okay, all right.
okay, all right, so we got a motion and a second on the floor. Let's call for the vote to table this until our, second meeting in June.
Director Dr. Michael Taylor,
Yes.
Director Brake Young,
Yes.
Director Dr. Clifford Young,
Yes.
Vice President Kyle Crowther,
Yes.
President Shannon Hawkins.
Yes, okay, moving on. Reports, by board members.
I'll just make it real quick. I just wish everyone a wonderful Memorial Day, and, to remember the reasons behind it. It's always a very special time for a lot of people's families, the people who've served. And I know it's gonna be a little strange this year with COVID going on, but I'm looking forward to the weekend, and I hope everyone is too. And you all have a wonderful evening, and thank you for joining us.
Okay, with that being said, did anybody else have a presentation? I believe Dr. Taylor has something that he wants to make a statement. But did anybody else before?
I did.
What did you say, Dr. Taylor? Okay.
I'll wait till the end.
Right, we'll wait to the end. Does anybody else have anything they wanna? Okay, well, with that being said, I do wanna acknowledge that this is Memorial Day. This is a very important weekend. Monday isn't just the day to get on the grill and invite family over, and some people will be playing gin rummy, some people dominoes and spades. But it is more about people who serve, like my uncle, Theophilus Hawkins, and my grandfather, Artelius Jackson, who served our country nobly, who fought in Korea, who fought in Vietnam, and fought in many wars, and the many other individuals who sacrificed their lives and time away from their families. And also, we need to acknowledge the current service members who are spending time away from their families, both here and abroad. And it is important that we all know freedom isn't free. And it took the sacrifice and blood of many for us to be able to be here. I also want to acknowledge the service members here at West Valley Water District who have fought for us and been here about protecting us and keeping us safe. With that being said, I think Dr. Taylor has something that he wants to say.
Yeah, first I just want to start off by saying I echo your commitment to the people that serve in the military. I too come from a long lineage of people who have served. My father served 2 tours of duty in Vietnam and was a lifer and left as a master chief in the Navy. Tracy, my wife, served 8 years in the Air Force. She was overseas. My stepdaughter, Lauren, currently serves in the Coast Guard as an officer. My grandfather fought in World War II. My brother served in the United States Army and serviced in Korea. And my son is currently in the Air Force Reserves, and he has served in Afghanistan. He served in Baghdad. He's been to Pakistan, Waziristan, and every other place I can think of around the world and currently serving us. So I would like to thank all of my family members for the service in the military. With that said, I don't know if some of the audience knows, I know the board members are aware of it. Our legal counsel's brother, who I've had the privilege and honor of knowing, Larry Edward Tafoya, passed away untimely last week. And my family and I would like to offer this to both Robert, his lovely wife Leslie, and his children and his family. Dear Robert and Leslie, there are few words, if any, that are to express our deepest and saddest sympathies for the untimely passing of your loving brother and our friend, Larry Edward Tafoya. To those of us who both knew and loved him, he was known only as Uncle Eddie. His was a kind soul with a good-natured spirit who had a sense of humor that was so earnest and funny, and the simplicity of its witty common sense that would magically light up any room. This is one of the many things about Eddie that we all shall truly miss. Some may have looked upon him as a simple soul, but they would most surely have been mistaken, as he was much more complex than that. As one of many examples, Uncle Eddie was one of the select few that was completely and absolutely devoted to family and friends, so much so that if you called, without question or hesitation, would drop everything, and in the words of Federal Express, if I may, absolutely positively be there. Unfortunately for Uncle Eddie, his last few years were not kind to him, both physically and medically. While his spirit never wavered, his health unexpectedly succumbed to the ailments of his body. While he shall be missed by all that knew him, he will no longer struggle from the ailments that crippled his suffering body. I hope we all can take solace in the fact that truly he is in a better place now, as our Heavenly Father saw that his child was suffering greatly, and in his wisdom decided that it was now time to care for and end the suffering of his beloved child by bringing him home from whence he came. Sleep well, my friend. May your journey be swift and bountiful, and know well that you will be truly missed by all. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that sums it up on how the board of directors feel regarding your brother passing, Robert. You know, we have you in our prayers. We have you in our prayers. Does anybody else want to say anything?
Does legal counsel need to report out, Mr. President?
Yes.
I, as an investigator. Thank you, Mr. President. The board has, and by the way, I think I was muted when Director Michael Taylor spoke. Want to thank you, Michael. I'm very grateful for those words. Thank you very much. And Channing, thank you. The board voted 5-0 to authorize an investigation into a leak regarding closed session material. That's one. The board also voted 2-0 to authorize and initiate litigation on behalf of the district.
You said 2-0, I'm assuming you mean 5-0.
Yes, the board voted 5-0. Please forgive me.
Okay, I think that does it. Anything else? Mr. General Manager?
I have nothing.
Okay, all right. With that being said, we adjourn tonight's meeting in the memory of Mr. Eddie Tafoya, the brother of our General Counsel, Robert Tafoya. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. President.